Welcome back to the Texans Probe. Today, of course, we're back with Drew. Today, we're going to kind of discuss what happened against Seattle. Obviously, we kind of know what's going to happen at this point. I feel like we don't really have, there's nothing new that's happening for this team, I feel like, at this point. But obviously, we'll kind of go into maybe some of the details of, maybe some new things that went wrong. Probably nothing that went right new, I guess you could say, from this game. So, what went wrong in this situation? Unfortunately, I don't think this team's very good. I don't think they're going to turn this thing around at any point this season. I think we're going to be looking at a pretty bad football team for the rest of the season. So, a little discouraging to talk about, I guess. But we're still here. We're still going to put out the content, obviously. So, Drew, how are you feeling today?
I mean, it was obviously just another horrid football watching experience. We were talking about the Texans versus Seahawks game. It would be awesome to be, a fan of a good team or to get to analyze a good football team. But when you watch the Texans offense, you just can't help but want to poke your eyes out and just turn the TV off and whatnot. And really, this game proved and answered a lot of questions that we had and a lot of thoughts that we had previously. And it was really that the two games the Texans offense looked good. What does that mean? No, it means that they were good against bad football teams. Their offense played well against teams that are not very good. We're not able to compete on defense. And the Seahawks are a competitive defense. And guess what? The Texans play a lot of competitive defenses for the rest of the entire football season. And
Yeah.
that honestly leaves a big question mark of what game are they actually going to be able to win. It honestly doesn't even matter how elite your defense is. Like, yeah, if your defense scores 2 touchdowns or 3 touchdowns a game, then maybe the Texans stand a chance. Shout out Will Anderson and really all the guys that are flying around the field. Disappointing early start. You obviously want to just kind of go three and out. Hold your whatever on the side of the field, keep them off your side of the field. Defensively, they didn't do that to start the game. That's disappointing. I get that. The Texans offense didn't do enough, and it's just so hard to watch.
Yeah. It's been very, very hard to watch. Um, it's been really, really brutal. On multiple levels. I think defense, like you said, they started the game poor, but it's not their fault. They forced four turnovers. They scored a touchdown. Like, it's not the defense's fault. It hasn't been the defense's fault all season. Darnold played probably his worst game of the season against the Texans as well. He's played a really,
Right.
really, I mean, he's
I
played
mean,
really,
and
really
I mean,
well.
honestly, that's credit to the Texans defense,
Yeah.
but yeah, you're right. And there was just so many mistakes. It was kind of like the Jacksonville Jaguars game all over again, where they're literally saying, "Here you go, beat us, beat us, beat us," and they just couldn't. They couldn't. The Texans could not win that game, no matter
No.
what they did. And we'll talk more about some of the offense struggles situationally. But geez, it's just awful.
Yeah, it's really, really bad. I mean, offensively, there's nothing that the Texans do right now that I can say that they do well. I don't really think there's one thing that the Texans on offense consistently do at a high level. Um, I don't think, at least last season, you felt like, okay, maybe they were a pretty explosive offense. They were like 12th in explosive play rate. I
They
don't
don't
think
have any
that's the
explosive
reality.
plays this year.
No. I mean,
No.
the you're not going to be a very explosive offense when the Dalton Schultz leads you in targets. That's not really like something that you're not going to be very explosive, I don't think. And you're not going to be a very good offense when Dalton Schultz leads you in targets over a season. And I'm not even discrediting Dalton Schultz because he's been one of the better offensive players. Like, he's actually been pretty solid. But it's not a good recipe for success when he's leading you in targets what have they played? 6 games? It's
Yeah,
just that's
16.
not good. That's not good. um, and there's just so many things fundamentally that don't make sense. Like, again, we've talked about it on here for what, eight? This is week 8 now. Why the hell is D'Amico talking about offense in press conferences? He doesn't know what he's talking about. He literally does not know what he's talking about. He's talking about rotating guards. Who in the hell rotates guards and thinks that works? Nobody
Yeah,
does
never,
that.
never a good idea. Never.
You're on the road where you're gonna okay. Your main issue is getting stunted. Who thought that the idea was to play multiple guys at one position, and then you have to know a snap count. It's just it doesn't make any sense. And then he gets up there, he talks about that. He talks about, I mean, whatever he talks about, it's stupid. Anything he talks about offensively is dumb. He has not said one intelligent thing about an offense this season.
Oh, right.
Um,
Yeah. Offense, I agree.
yeah,
It's weird.
defensively, like, yeah,
Really
he's a
weird.
smart defensive coach. I won't deny that. But
Yeah.
offensively, he hasn't said one intelligent thing. I don't think. I mean, really, it started with when you're in 3rd and 12, you can't really get your best player the ball. Like, why did he
What does
say
that
that?
mean? Weird.
That was stupid.
There's always a way. Good coaches,
Yeah,
great coaches find a way. Obviously, he doesn't call the plays, but like, don't say something stupid like that that is actually inaccurate.
yeah. And then you have, I mean, what else has happened? What else happened in that game? Then all of a sudden they activate Braxton Berrios, and he's just like he just takes the slot role. Jalen Noel has been active the whole time,
Right.
but all of a sudden,
Clearly a good football player.
as soon as Berrios is active, he takes all the snaps. Um, and there were people that were asking for this, like literally throughout the week. And actually, I'm gonna say it because I was debating with Stressens about this. He was pushing for Braxton Berrios. I said that makes no sense. He should never be playing NFL snaps in this point in his career, and it doesn't make sense. It
It
doesn't
doesn't
make
make
sense.
sense. No.
Jalen Noel is clearly like so much better at literally anything that involved playing football. Like, what did Alex Earl do to this organization for Braxton Berrios to be playing?
And just in the context of like literally your rookie that's not even a first rounder is just playing better and better each week.
Yeah.
And then after a bye week where he would hypothetically be developed more, let's go play the veteran, Jacob. Let's go play the veteran who's never produced
Oh, I have to off.
above average or even at an average level as a starting slot receiver in the NFL. Let's go throw him out there.
Who knows, man? I didn't even realize my light was off. I honestly can't even explain it. I really can't. I really
I
can't
didn't even
explain it.
notice that. Honestly, it's kind of embarrassing now to be like, wow, they actually did that. Like that's kind
Yeah,
of
it's
crazy
really
that they.
embarrassing. And then they
They
put him at punt return, and he fell like 3 times.
why is he punt returning when we already have?
I don't know. Why in the hell did you draft Jalen Noel in the 3rd round when you had Jared Wilson on the board? You had all these guys to not play him. They don't play him. They don't even use him very much on offense. They haven't at all. They don't even use Jaden Higgins very much on offense.
Right.
It makes no sense. They prioritize getting these weapons on offense and they don't even use them. They literally do not use these guys.
That's the thing where it's like, okay, that's really concerning because that's dysfunction of the top and or the decision makers who get the
Yeah.
players aren't really correlating with the coaches. Like ideally, you want the general manager and head coach like, we're going to draft this player, do that. You want this player, you need this type of player. Okay, I'm going to go get you this type of player so that he can do that. And that's not really going on right now. And then you have literally the national media just bashing the Texans for how embarrassing their offensive line is and how they literally had an opportunity to fix the offensive line in the offseason and they essentially just like didn't do that. Or maybe the
Yeah.
coaching there, like they fired, now like they were humming when they had Bobby Slowick. Bobby Slowick did have bad moments as the Texans offensive coordinator, and he did deserve to be fired. But they still hypothetically maybe made a wrong decision at multiple different position and staff positions now, and so it's just really concerning. And it starts turning those things where it's like, well, someone's got to be fired for that because you're not just going to keep the team the way it is. Like I like the
No.
talent on the roster. Um, I think it would be probably the best available head coaching spot, general manager spot available. I don't think like the Miami Dolphins, like McDaniel gets fired. Like I'm not really thinking that's a better
Yeah,
opportunity.
maybe it depends on Giants, maybe.
And Giant,
People like
Giants
Dart.
maybe. Yeah,
People
I
like
mean,
Dart.
if,
People
if,
like
if
Scatterbo.
they like Dart, then obviously the Giants' defense, or but the Texans' defense, honestly, I think is better than. I mean, I just saw them blow a massive lead against the
Yeah.
Broncos. That was
Yeah,
awesome for me to watch too. It's been a great week of football
yeah.
over here. But yeah, no. So like the Texans roster, like we know it's talented, and they're probably gonna win 6, 7 games, 6, 7 games this year. But they can't beat good teams. And it was honestly, I didn't think about this. I saw a tweet from DJ Bienemy that like, or Sean Pendergast, whatever. That they haven't actually really been that good in the backstretch of last year, and they haven't beaten a good team in a while. I mean,
No.
obviously they beat the Chargers in the playoffs, but like
Yeah.
that was it. So
Yeah, they
this
haven't
is
been a good team outside of that since Buffalo, which was over a year ago.
exactly,
So
exactly.
that's not good.
Yeah,
And
basically
you
what they're
you say
saying
they're
is
going to win 6 games, but you go look at that schedule. I don't know who the hell they're going to beat. I honestly Tennessee again, probably. They'll
they
beat
might win next.
like
I'm thinking they might honestly beat the Niners next week, just because
I
like
really don't think they
some point
will.
I know, and the
Yeah.
Niners will probably be the better coach team. They should be the better coach team.
Yeah.
But like I don't know,
But
there's a lot of
like
injuries, and
they'll probably beat the Raiders.
that's
Like will
true.
they beat the Cardinals? I don't
They
know. I
could.
think the Cardinals might
But
be
you
better.
remember, like, remember they
Yeah.
could technically
Yeah, they could.
beat any
I
team.
think they
They
could beat. I
could.
think they could beat Jacksonville too.
They could beat the Chiefs. They could honestly
Yeah,
beat the
they
Chiefs.
could.
Like we can't say
I
that
don't
they
know, man.
can't beat these
I don't
teams.
know. I think
So
they could beat Buffalo too. I just don't know if they will beat
all
Buffalo.
these teams in the AFC have problems, and problems
Yeah.
are bound to be exposed by teams that are under eventually go under the radar or are literally talented like the Texans are, and it's just the players have to come together. But but right, it's like we watch that offense, and it's just like, whoa, that's not an NFL offense. It's just like
No.
hard to watch.
Yeah, it's really really bad. And I've been on here. I've talked about it for however long. I've been, a little bit nicer to CJ Stroud than I think some people. I'm pretty much over that at this point. At some point, we've got to just play better. I get the situation. At some point, you got to make throws. You have to. I mean, how he played in this game was pretty unacceptable. You cannot play this poorly. The offensive line, like, it was not good in this game. It was not as bad as people are making out to be. They've performed worse in games,
That's true.
and,
We've
and
seen worse than
especially
that.
last season. Like they've had worse performances, and Stroud had 6 turnover-worthy plays. Like that's really really bad. He could have thrown 4 picks
Yeah,
if Josh Jobe actually had hands. They
yeah.
probably had 4 picks in this game. So it was just a brutal
I was
performance. I'm pretty
thinking,
over like
yeah,
the
yeah. I was thinking that his footwork looked a little bit off,
it did.
a little bit
It did.
choppy kind of throughout. It was like, oh, like it
Yeah, it did.
kind of gave me a little bit of like an ick, like, oh, that doesn't really look too fluid in the pocket. After after the 3-step drop, he doesn't look like he's processing as well, and then he starts to like kind of run his a little bit, and then when I mean, we're gonna take a look at dropbacks, but just from like recall, it looked like he wasn't really feeling it. He wasn't really feeling it. He didn't look too confident at all. And we've seen like you're saying, we have seen quarterbacks overcome situations like this before. So it's just it's really off-putting, and so I understand why you would be less on him.
Yeah, I don't know. I do still believe he's a good quarterback. I do think he's a good quarterback. I don't necessarily think he's a good quarterback right now, but I think he is a good quarterback. I think he, in the right situation, can be very, very good. But I think my hope of him becoming this like top 5 type quarterback I don't really have that anymore. I don't think that's really a thing for him.
Well,
I don't really think he's going to
I
be
think
that.
that's something that can kind of always come back. I know that's stupid to say, but we have literally seen
Yeah, it
quarterbacks
does.
go to
Yeah,
other
it
teams.
does.
Like CJ
Mhm.
Stroud is still going to be a Texan. Like they're not going to cut ties with him
No,
for
no, I
a
agree.
long time. So they're going to know that hey, this guy's really talented. We know he had a great rookie year. We know he made some amazing throws in
Yeah.
his second year, but dealt with a lot of pressure. So I wouldn't be too concerned from that standpoint. It's just like they might have to make changes, and that's a problem too.
Yeah, I think they have to make changes. And I honestly, I think there's been a lot of like Cole Popovich slander, and I kind of feel bad for him
Yeah,
in
I
this
don't think it's
situation.
really
I
his
really don't think
fault.
it's his fault. I
No.
really don't think he's done a bad job. They've gotten a lot better at picking up these kind of blitz stuff that they had some struggles with. Um, the talent's just bad. Like the line is just bad. They don't have any good players outside of Titus on the line. Like that's just the reality of it. They're not a good line. I don't know what you really expect Cole Popovich to do with what he has. It was unfair to ask him to take a line of guys that have not been good in their
Right.
careers and make them good.
There's
And
no
it's not
elite
like you're
players.
asking them, you're not, it's not like you're asking these guys are like, oh, like these guys were, oh, it's year two for this guy. Like Ed Ingram sucked for 3 years and he's been okay here. He's been solid, but he's not good. And then Jake Andrews, right? Jake Andrews got cut like
Right.
by the Patriots. They're not a good line.
Non-established player.
So,
Right.
and then Laken Tomlinson's 35 and he's been asses like for 5 years. So I don't like, I just, and Ursary's been bad. Like I don't really know.
Well, I think
I
he's just
don't
gonna have
really
to move to
know.
right tackle. I think he's just gonna have to
Yeah.
move to
Yeah, he's a
that.
right tackle. He is, yeah.
And
I agree with that.
that's gonna be fun, when he's down blocking and all that stuff, and just slightly cutting off the edge instead of being left on an island. He's gonna be a good player. Um, it,
Hmm.
it's unfortunate that he looks so kind of uncomfortable at left tackle because he played that in college. Like he actually had a great game against Abdul Carter in college too, where he was playing left tackle.
Yeah.
Um, it's just I don't really know. There's obviously a lot of different techniques and schemes in the NFL, and that's probably what's going on because he's having to change his footwork a lot more than he would have had to in college, just based on what he's seeing initially in front of him. But now he's seeing a lot of
Yeah.
things, so yeah, which could be a good thing. It could be
Yeah,
great
yeah, yeah.
for him because we know he has enough range to play left tackle, but he's just playing like a rookie. And if we're just being real, like he's playing like a rookie. Obviously,
Yeah, he is.
there's been good left tackle rookies like Rashawn Slater and even Josh Simmons at times too.
This
Has been
yeah, yeah, yeah.
uncomfortable, but that's
Joel. Well, I guess Joel played right. Never
he was
mind.
right tackle.
He
But
played
like
right. Yeah, yeah.
most rookies, left tackle, any offensive line spots, quarterbacks don't
Yeah.
necessarily play
Corner.
very well. I don't know. I really like the roster, and so this is why it just makes
Yeah.
it so disappointing. But you're right. The offensive line, it doesn't even look good on paper,
I'm
and
a
it's
little
not playing
hesitant to
on
say
the field.
I like the roster at this point. I like the defense,
You gotta
but I
love
don't really
you.
know if I like the talent on offense right now. I'm
Well,
not really.
you're not high enough
I
on
like the
Higgins and
projection of the
Noel.
offense. I like the receivers if you develop these guys, but they have done nothing to develop them. So it's kind of hard for me to like. But I guess yeah, I see what you're saying though. I do think if they can develop these guys, and I
Yeah,
think Nolan Higgins are going to be good. That you know
it's a great trio as well.
they're
As
going to
long
be good, but I think it kind of starts back when you go back to training camp and you're playing Hutchinson almost all the first team reps, and instead of getting your rookies somewhat trying to get them involved with the first team offense, try to get these guys some touches. I just don't really get it. I don't really get it from the beginning. I don't know what the plan was. I really don't. I really don't know what the plan was
it's weird.
because it wasn't like Hutchinson was awesome in training camp. Like he did some nice things, but he wasn't good enough for you to be like, oh, he shocked us. Like we have to play him. He was fine,
Yeah, I
and
don't know.
then it's not like Christian Kirk's really done anything even when he's been
Yeah.
healthy. So I don't really
He
know.
had a good game against Jacksonville.
Yeah, yeah, he was solid in that game.
Yeah. But obviously,
Um,
he's not the future player. He's just
yeah,
a
yeah, for sure.
raw.
All right, we'll go through. We got some comments here. So,
Yeah.
um, Kaylee talked about coaching to our strength. Why haven't we seen any four strong looks with Nico isolated on the weak side? I know it's super specific example, but four strong is so good when you have an elite X. What do you think, Drew? I'll leave that one to you.
He's looking to isolate Nico.
Yeah,
Yeah, no, I actually would agree that they need to widen out the field more. I've been saying this too. If you at least go empty or you go trips to the right, Nico on the left. But at the same time, it's NFL defenses, and I know. I mean, he is an elite X, but you can also game plan around that, and so you might just see teams take advantage of that at this point, especially when you're like we're talking about when you're actually putting Hutchinson and Barrios on the field and Kirk at times. It can be limited because of his size, and you're not playing the mismatch threats like but Noel and Higgins.
yeah,
Now, if you do that, then I'm all for it. But that's not happening right now. But they do need to spread the field out. So Steven, I'm there with you on that. They need to spread the field out, and they should at least wrinkle it in because then you can't totally game plan around it and just kind of pick the defense apart a little bit there because it's just the formations just seem a little bit too tight still.
Yeah, I would agree with that. But I honestly like I know maybe it's kind of a hot take. I've seen so much Nick Caley stuff the last like week, and I get it. But I do think at some point when we've had multiple guys with multiple different schemes try to make the offense work, maybe it's just the players. Maybe at some point it's just the players and how the roster is being built
Well, at least on
to
the
a
offensive
certain
line
extent.
players.
Yeah. I mean, at some point, I don't really think I think it's almost an embarrassment that we get to these third and one or fourth and one spots and we're all begging them not to run the ball because we know we can't run the ball in
The
that
offensive
spot
line's not as good as the
because the
defensive
offensive line
line.
sucks.
Yeah, exactly.
They're gonna get pushed back, and
And I think
honestly,
Haley
like
knows
I don't really
that.
know. It's really hard to coach an offense like that. Like we can be honest about it. That's really hard to do. It's very hard to coach an offense like that. That um, you literally cannot push on a third and one or a fourth and one. You literally are
Right.
going to go backwards.
And when
Everyone
Chuck,
knows it.
that's why they're like when they do sneak, CJ goes like to the left or the where the open hole is. He's not expecting the offensive line to create a hole
Yeah,
push for him. Like it's actually kind of embarrassing if you think about it. Like they're not able to do the tush push if they wanted to. They're not good enough up front to even do that. So they have to just kind of cheat, their way around it. So yeah, I agree with James is saying here too. It does seem to be a skill level issue with the offensive
yeah,
line.
it's a skill thing.
Uh,
It was it was more skill than people gave it credit for last year. But
yeah,
the problem was that the skill got worse. The skill on the offensive line
that's
has
true.
gotten worse.
Technically, yeah, and they were
Because
hoping that
Laramie Tunsil
scheme
was
would help. Yeah.
clearly the most skillful player on the offensive line, and he's one of the most
Mhm.
skilled offensive linemen in the sport. So you take him, you get rid of him, you add a rookie left tackle that is not, you know, I don't think Ursery's the most physically talented guy. He's big and but like he doesn't, his punch is good. He doesn't really move his feet that well. Like he's got certain things that he's just never going to be like a top tier. He's not a top athlete for the position. So, yeah, I mean, you knew that when you drafted him, but there's just a significant drop off in that skill there. Like that was something that Laramie Tunsil did at an extremely high level that you just didn't have anymore. And so the idea that you improved, I do think the guards are maybe a little bit better. I don't know. Honestly, I don't really know if the guards are. I think Ed Ingram's better than Shaq
I
Mason
think
was.
I was gonna say that too. There's no doubt. That's not
Yeah,
even.
I do
It's
think
not even
he's
saying
better.
much, I guess. But like
But
he had.
honestly, I honestly do think that Jarrett Patterson and Juice Scruggs are better centers than Jake Andrews.
We haven't
I think they're
seen.
better.
Well, I would
We
like to
haven't
see.
seen them, but I think they're better. And I mean, it depends on what you're talking about left guard. Because if you're referring to Kenyon, then yes, Juice is better than Kenyon. But I do think Titus was better at the end of the season than anybody that's played at left guard now. Um, but the problem is that if you want to move Titus to guard, where he's clearly not as good as he is at tackle, then the option is playing Blake Fisher, who is brutal. Like
Yeah, and they traded
so,
like Cam Robinson, knowing they were gonna stick with Titus at tackle
yeah,
anyway.
yeah, which is smart. They shouldn't move him to guard. That's kind of what I'm saying. I think Cole Popovich has handled it about as best as he can. I don't really think there's much else I can ask from him to do
Yeah.
at this point. I would like to see a switch at center, but I don't know.
Is it
It's
really
literally
that
like
bad though? Like, what do you
complaining to going
are
from
you
Jake
think?
Andrews to like it's literally like it's like the ugly twins meme. It's neither of them are good. Okay,
Yeah.
we're literally just like okay, this one's a little bit less shitty than this one, so it really doesn't even matter. And at this point, I'm honestly in the point now where I think it's better for the Texans to lose games. So I'd almost rather them just not just be bad. Like let's just lose. I'm pretty over.
And the
I don't
draft
really
picks would
think.
be looking nice. That extra
Yeah,
second rounder.
yeah. James says Tate Ratledge. I don't really think Tate Ratledge is all that good, but yeah.
Yeah, no.
I
I mean,
mean,
I'm
I don't
sure
really think
he's gritty.
he's been
He's
all
on the
right.
line.
He's been all right there.
He would probably be
I
getting
actually would rather
exposed.
have Higgins, to be honest with you. I'd rather have Higgins, I
Yeah,
think, long term.
but
I
just
think
not
Higgins is
like
going to be
doing
really
anything
good.
small. So
Um, I think the real miss was like, I
it
mean,
wasn't.
I don't know. A lot of the linemen haven't really been all that good from the draft. It's just early. I would have liked Jared Wilson in the third. Um, I like the projection there. Like he can play guard or center, and he's super athletic. So I would have liked a guy like that. Um, in the third, or Mabo in the fifth was blatantly obvious, but we struck out on that one. So um, don't know
Okay.
how the hell that. I don't know how the hell they missed that. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't know how that
A lot of
scouting.
teams, a lot of
I
teams missed.
know, and I don't know how. I don't know how he fell as far as he did. I know he's tiny, but he's a good player.
Yeah,
Um, and I kind of talk about it, but like the idea that I get it. You're not drafting for need. By the way, that is the most bullshit thing I've ever seen when people try to say that teams don't draft for need. You do draft for need. Teams won't say that they do it, but everyone does it because like the perfect example is a team's not trading 3 first round picks to go draft a quarterback if they don't need a quarterback. Like
exactly.
teams do
Right.
draft for need.
Yeah.
So don't hit me with that bullshit that teams don't draft
Yeah.
for need because that is total bullshit. Teams always draft for need. Well, yeah, what is a need? Yeah,
Yeah.
Casario, I'm not. I get he's not going to say he drafts for need because then it's like, oh, what do you need? And then it's just like a. But he did act a little bit too arrogant about that for a guy that like he was very confident. I guess him and D'Amico were really confident the offensive line was going to be fine. But I mean, because they acted like it wasn't an issue all offseason. They acted like they were fine with it.
I think
And
there was like probably clashing between D'Amico and Slowick and CJ and Slowick to where it's like, okay, we need to get rid of these guys, and then I think we'll be fine. So they did probably think it was
yeah,
just an issue, and so like, okay, we like the scheme, and we think that these players now again, you're getting just like in Tomlinson is a little arrogant as well, actually, frankly. But
hmm
they were led to believe that it was a schematic issue, and it's not necessarily. I mean, obviously there were some things like you can't pick up a stunt. Like now they can kind of pick up a stunt, but you didn't really get the best players and
yeah.
stuff.
No,
It, it,
they're better at picking up the stunts and things,
yeah,
but
fine.
they they
Still
suck
pressure.
because they're not good. The players just aren't good. They're not like it's not it's they're just losing one-on-ones. That's what I alluded to last time was that if they would have just kept Tunsil and they would have improved the interior, then the schematics could have gotten better and you could have at least had a foundation and had a probably better talent offensive line and then the schematics come along as well, but they didn't do that. So
No,
I get the Tunsil thing. I get why they did it. I really do. I'm not even necessarily saying it was a bad idea, but you had to. The fact that they traded him and they didn't spend the money on the offensive line is like, what the hell are you doing? I mean, you paid Darrell Taylor $5 million and he doesn't
he's
even play.
inactive. Yeah,
CJ Gardner Johnson's making what 8, 9 million, or he got paid that because they gave him
right.
the bonus. He's not
Yeah,
even on the team. He made it 3 weeks. Christian Kirk's making 20 something this year, I think. He's played what 3 games? He has
yeah.
he didn't even have 100 yards. Like I don't. I mean, the offseason was a absolute disaster. Outside of a couple moves, it was a total disaster.
No, I
Sheldon
agree with
Rankins was a
you.
good move, and Ed Ingram was a good move. Outside of that, I mean, it's been a big disaster.
Yeah,
I
I
can't think
think
of anyone else that's made. I guess EJ Speed. EJ Speed was a
oh
pretty
yeah,
good
it's just
signing.
yeah. Yeah, if you go back and look at it, it's like I'm totally fine with the draft picks, but like what they did in the free agency is just kind of it's embarrassing because they have the same issues. If they had like different issues and be totally fine, or not totally fine, but like it'd be understandable. But for them to still have having the same problems up front, and because they just literally didn't do anything, and then also like you're mentioning to have the wasted moves, like oh you didn't think that maybe Darrell Taylor literally couldn't defend the run, or that CJ Garner Johnson might be
Yeah,
a little bit of a
that
hot
makes no
hand.
sense to me. They acted like they didn't know who Darrell Taylor was when he's
Yeah,
played in the league for like 6 seasons. And it's like,
yeah.
oh, well, we love Dylan Horton. So why the hell did you sign
Don't
him?
don't
You
sign.
literally didn't.
Yeah, you didn't
I
need
don't
him,
know.
and they had Solomon Bird too. You didn't
They
need
could
her.
have they could have made this somewhat understandable if they would have cut a guy like Danico Autry and saved money. But Danico Autry's
Yeah,
better than Dylan. He's better than Darrell Taylor. We saw that firsthand in this game. He's better. Um,
yeah,
And I mean, I don't know what really to say about a lot of their offseason moves. Like they're bad. They're really bad moves. Cam Robinson sucked. That was a terrible move too. He didn't even make it. He didn't even start more than one game on the team, and he got $12 million out of
but yeah,
it.
yeah. It's more wasted money. Yeah, you're right.
So
Right.
they just threw money away, and then they spent picks on positions they didn't even really need. Like they, I know you like Jalen Smith. He can be a good player. They still spent a top
They
100
didn't
pick
need
on
him.
a cornerback.
Well,
They
they
didn't need a
certainly, yeah, if we're not
corner.
talking about need, if we're talking about need, they didn't need him because they already had Miles Bryant.
They literally didn't need a cornerback at
They
all.
didn't need him.
They literally signed Tremont Smith. Oh, by the way, the good signing. I forgot about him. Good
Yeah, there you
signing. That was a
go.
good move. But like they literally signed him, and then like he was for most of training camp, he was the backup corner. They didn't even have Jalen Smith in the backup corner role. So like, why the hell did you pick him in the top 100 if like you again you could have picked you could have just picked Woody in that spot and not had to give up a future third if you wanted to. You could pick the running back there, and then you wouldn't have to give up a future third. But you, I don't know. The receiver doesn't even bother me as much as the fact that the Jalen Smith pick, like you just didn't need a corner. To me,
Yeah.
when they had the arrogance of picking a running back and a corner, that to me signaled that they were good with the offensive line,
Oh,
and they were
absolutely.
wrong. They were
So
wrong.
it's just yeah. And to James's question,
I do.
like
I think he is.
this
Yeah.
situation, you're right. This situation would actually put him on the hot seat because their job is to make sure that that doesn't happen. And so if they evaluated improperly in the off season, then the McNair family is going to look at that and be like, "Oh, you're like, oh, Nick Casario, I remember you telling me that we were all good there, right?
Yeah.
You told me we were all good there. Oh, we weren't good there. Bye bye." That's honestly like that's how it goes in the NFL. Like professional organizations, when they evaluate things from there, and then they reevaluate things, they're like, "Oh, you failed," and then he failed.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree. I don't think D'Amico's necessarily on the hot seat right now. I don't think. I'd like him
No,
to be, but I don't think he is. I think he sticks around. But I do think it's reasonable to say you could give him another shot with a new GM, new offensive coordinator. But I think you would
oh
have
yeah,
to get an offensive. I think you'd have to get they
a
have to get
former
an
head coach.
offensive
That'd be a former
coordinator.
head
That
coach.
it doesn't have to be a guy that can call plays, but or has called play before. But it has to be a guy that can like essentially be the head coach of the offense. So in a way, it does have to be a guy that's been an offensive coordinator before. If they could get a guy, just kind of throw names out, you know, Mike McCarthy. They could get a guy that has kind of run an offense before, like he's been a head coach and run the offense. I think they're fine. The problem is that the minute that D'Amico starts talking about offense or gets involved in offense, I'm out. Like the minute that he has to get
Yeah,
involved in the offense, it's not going to go well. So you have to get a guy that's been a head coach before,
yeah,
is called plays. There's plenty of guys out there. If Mike McDaniel gets fired,
yeah. It
which
doesn't
he's
have.
going to
Yeah,
get
I was gonna say
fired,
it doesn't
Mike
have to be
McDaniel.
McDaniel. It doesn't have to be,
If the Giants fire Dayball, I'd like Dayball as the offensive coordinator as well.
assistant head coach and offense coordinator. Let's go. Give me
Like
that.
I said, Mike McDaniel or Mike McCarthy is another example of a guy that I would be cool with as an offensive coordinator. Um,
That
I mean,
man's
I'm
ready
trying to
to
think of
coach
other
again.
names.
That man's ready to be a head coach again. But
I
yeah,
think he will be a head coach, but just kind of, if he doesn't get a
yeah.
head coaching job. Um, trying to think, is there more? Is there more like guys out there that are like not current?
I mean, that's so tough. Who else? It's someone I'm thinking of. Uh, I don't know. I'll have to look into that. But I see what you mean because honestly, you need someone that literally, like, I know Nick Cayley is obviously a highly regarded guy, a highly smart guy, but like, if you truly want someone to just have full ownership of the offense, it probably does have to be either a guy that's been an offense coordinator for a really long time or was an offense coordinator for a really long time and then
Yeah,
became a head coach. And
yeah,
so that's why McDaniel would just kind of make a lot of sense. And literally, he seems to not be a good head coach, or he's a funny, goofy, goober guy as a head coach.
yeah. But I don't even
He doesn't
really.
need to be a head coach.
I
He
think there's
needs,
bigger issues in Miami than him, to be honest with you. And
that's it.
so
Yeah,
it's kind of they're kind of just a soft team in general. They don't have a they're not very good on either line, and they've been pretty soft for fresh. So I mean, whatever his name is, Greer, like he should have been fired forever ago. I don't know how the hell he kept his job as long as he has. So, um, but there are some like good OCs out there that I actually like. Um, who I actually do think is a good offensive coordinator, and this is a hot take. I know their offense looks like shit, but I actually think the Jets offense coordinator is pretty solid. I just think that
oh
their
yeah,
offense is really bad. Like the quarterbacks are really, really bad. Uh,
it's just
Justin
a weird
Fields is
situation there.
horrible. He's horrid. I actually think. Oh, I think it's Tanner something. I forget what his last name is. It starts
Yeah,
with an E. I
I
don't know
know
how to
you're
say his last name,
yeah,
but
yeah.
yeah, I think he's a good OC. Like there's definitely some other guys out there that you could try to get. But I do think like I'm not all that convinced that the Niners guys are like great. I don't really think Adam Peters is a good GM. I don't really think a lot of their head coaches have been good. So I'd like to can we if we're gonna talk about hiring a new GM, let's kind of like not go to that tree. Let's kind of like go to like the other side of the
Yeah,
Shanahan
but
and go like towards
you would
McVay.
want it to be that you would want it to be someone that D'Amico literally knows because, like, I saw,
Yeah. No, that's what I'm saying. I would try to go to like the McVay, like
as
LaFleur
long as he
guys.
knows the guy, I don't
Yeah,
care.
yeah,
It
I
could be
agree.
JJ Watt for all I
Uh,
care. It could be a former Texan. If another, I mean, that's fine. Like, it has to be
yeah,
someone that D'Amico knows. So,
yeah,
because I
and
think
then
it's like I talked about. Like, I don't think the organization is super duper connected, right? I know, Casario was excited to get D'Amico Ryans, but like, it doesn't make sense if you're signing all these players and drafting all these players that aren't working well together with the scheme or whatever you want to call it.
yeah, there's definitely a disconnect there.
Yeah.
Whether they want
Like,
to say it
apparently
or
there
not.
was, like, but the article never really came out about that. So I'm really hoping that we get some more answers on it because it just feels weird. It just feels super weird.
Yeah, there's definitely something wrong there. James said Mike McDaniel seems like the best
That's
option to do that. I mean, yeah, Mike McDaniel makes a lot of
TJ
sense.
Yates. TJ Yates. He's actually a coach.
TJ.
So.
Unironically, I'd be fine with Josh McCown as an OC. Like I actually
Yeah,
think
that's
he's
yeah. No, I
um
actually would. That would be pretty cool. That would actually be pretty
yeah.
cool.
But yeah, no, Mike McDaniel is like the kind of no-brainer option. I feel like. Actually, Nico was texting me about that the other day. He's pushing for that. He wants Mike McDaniel, Texans OC. It would make a lot of sense because, like we said, if you hire a GM that's also a Niners guy or a guy that D'Amico knows, he probably knows Mike McDaniel as well. That would just make a lot of sense. It seemed like
A
again you
lot of
become a
stuff.
more of a unit if that is your collective of those three guys making the decisions. You become a little bit more together. It feels like on what you want to do. Um, because I honestly do think D'Amico wanted to kind of. I don't know. I do honestly think he thought that the offense would be a little bit more similar to what they ran last year, more of the West Coast style, more kind of. But I don't know. That could be just me.
Speculation.
I don't know because I don't really know why he thought that was going to be the case because I think the run game was always going to go more towards gap in duo because that's what McVay's done too. So it's not like it's just a New England thing. Um, I don't know, man.
Yeah, James, that's exactly what I was referencing. TJ Yates has been
He's
a
on
coach
their
for
staff.
about
Yeah,
four. He's been like for like 4 or 5 years now, but it's so funny that we're talking about firing
yeah.
offensive coordinator right now.
No, and honestly, what I think we need
How
to.
we feel.
I think some of the things too on offense is maybe not the offensive coordinator, but they kind of just need to clean house that whole offensive coaching room. I feel like
Because it's also
there's a
disconnected
lot of
because
guys.
Casario hired his own guys.
Yeah, there's a lot
Technically,
of Castillo
technically,
guys there. There's just a lot of guys that it's like they don't have a lot of connections together. They don't
yeah.
really like Danny Barrett's been here for forever. Ben McDaniels has been here for forever. By the way, since we're on the topic, Ben McDaniels has not developed a receiver. And like
Well,
he
since
developed,
Nico
I guess
Collins,
Nico, like Tank was pretty good immediately. He didn't really have to do a lot
yeah,
there.
Tank was good
Every guy
in college, man. Like
every
he
guy
was
that stepped
that
in
guy.
has gotten worse. Like every guy that's gotten here because
Well,
Stephon Diggs is
low
playing
key,
better
we
than.
thought Hutchinson looked better, but
That's true. That's true. That's a good
I
point.
think he low
Yeah,
key
maybe
looked better.
maybe I'm putting a little bit too
I
much on
mean,
him. Uh, yeah, that's fair. Well, I don't know. Maybe I should put more on Danny Barrett because what the hell has Damian Pierce been doing since his break this year in 2022? But um,
whatever.
yeah, I don't know. I think it's time to like clean house. I don't even know if I would keep Gerard at this point. I actually like Gerard, but I don't really know. There's a lot of fundamental things with CJ that are
I don't
not
know.
great
You're not
too.
gonna fire Gerard Johnson. The guy literally, got offers to be an offensive coordinator 2 years in a
Yeah,
row. So he's obviously like at least highly regarded, and
yeah. I
he
don't really
knows.
think it's his fault that
No,
this stuff is going on. So I agree
no,
with
it's a
that. But
mental thing at
yeah,
least for CJ that turns into physical things on the field. At this point, is what I would speculate at least.
yeah, that makes sense. I agree with that. All right, we can get into some of the film. We'll
Yeah,
go. I think
we need to
we're
take
gonna
a look
watch some of the third downs
yeah, and we need to
for
take
the
a look at
offense.
the way CJ's mechanics are because this happened last year too, where his mechanics were just kind of looking a lot different. Then they looked good again in that Chiefs game, and it was fine.
Yeah,
But when things build up, it just seems like his mechanics start to fall off a little bit. And then Jake Andrews too. Let's see if he's actually holding up in pass protection or not. Obviously, we know Lake and Tomlinson has just been horrid all year,
Yeah, he
and
sucks.
Ed Ingram had a great start, but we'll see if he was part of the issue too.
Mm-mm-mm. Wait, can y'all see my screen? Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I can see it.
Got you.
Does it tell you which plays were turnover worthy as well by Stroud in
Not
here?
on here at one, I don't
Just
think.
on DFF, yeah.
Yeah, they don't track turnover worthy plays, but I guarantee you we'll see some of them because there were some that were really bad.
Probably on third down, yeah. At least one's got to be on third down.
Yeah. All right. Well, these are the third down passes.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
We can go to the run
we
game as well
need
after
definitely need to
this.
watch the offensive line on those third down runs though
Yeah,
too.
yeah, for sure. We'll do this. I just player searched um CJ, so we'll go.
And I think that's technically one of well, literally one of
Yeah,
them.
yeah, definitely. Yeah, it is.
Um, yeah, just not a good decision at all. Kind of a weird
He's really late
thing
to
to
this. He
do.
actually has Nico early if he throws it
Yeah,
right now, but
his eyes never get over to him, and then he tries to anticipate, but also the safety is there, and he knew the safety was there. So I mean, I understand there's pressure. Let's see where the pressure comes from.
actually, Ursford just this is a play where Ursford just doesn't block anybody.
Can you go
So
back?
yeah,
Oh, I mean, I understand. I mean,
yeah, it's a
I
corner
understand
blitz.
that. Yeah, I mean that's.
They actually blitz. They actually blitz both corners on this play.
I would say Jake Andrews did a really good job against who I think is a really good defense tackle in Leonard Williams.
Blair
So
Williams.
yeah, I'm not.
Yeah, it's a pretty good job.
And so I would just say the corner blitz literally worked there. I don't think it was any. And Nico Collins was open. So like, but I don't. I just don't like that Stroud's eyes are so late to his, you know,
Hmm.
top receiver. He never really progresses, and the step up. Honestly, the step up is a little weird too. But I'll give more credit here to the defensive play call than honestly an offensive failure.
Yeah. Oh, I just realized we're not even. Oh, I
Oh,
selected third quarter. That's why. There we go. But
third down.
still, we can watch the pick. There you go.
Oh, so that was the first play of the
That was
first.
the first throw. It was the second play. They ran for like 4 yards on the first
Yeah,
play, and then
yeah.
um. Okay, we can. My screen frozen. Oh, I guess let's refresh it. All right. Okay, here we go. Third down. Oh boy,
This is your favorite play?
this is a pretty funny one. This is a pretty funny one, actually.
Just drifting
I
back.
kind
I
of knew
mean,
how the game
oh
was going to
my.
go as soon as this happened. I don't.
Yeah,
I
that's
don't
what
know
my
what the
dad
hell.
said. That's exactly what my dad. He said I didn't even watch the second half because I knew what was going to happen.
Yeah.
Braxton Barris in the slot, by the way. I don't understand.
Yeah. He got targeted the play before this. Now,
All
see,
right.
this is
Anyway,
again. I mean,
that's just horrible pocket management. Horrible. That is not a pressure allowed by Titus Howard or Ursary at
no.
all. Not at all. Let's look at the guards here, though. I think. All right, oh, actually, go back one more time. Just trying to see what Jake
Someone got
Andrews
stunted.
did.
Oh, look at who's in
Yeah.
the game of running back, by the way.
Yeah. Oh, unbelievable.
Actually, do you want to see? You want who to see whose fault the stunt was?
Yeah, look at that. Look at that. Double teaming. Double teaming again.
God, why the dude? Who sat down in the bye week and thought that was a good
Right.
idea? Who suggested that?
Said, we
No.
trust
Oh,
you
oh,
again,
wait. Hold
Daro.
on. Hold on. Look at this. I want y'all to watch this. Watch this. He just going down. He puts his hands up like he should throw it to him because he whipped on the block.
You're
But
right.
still,
This
it's
is
not
a
even really
funny
his fault.
one. Literally double
You,
teaming for no reason.
yeah, yeah. Oh, all right. I think you could just take a screenshot of this
You
and
got
say this how this game's
yeah,
gonna go. You got Braxton Berrios, Daria Gumbawale, and Laken Tomlinson in the game
yeah.
with
You got to post that.
no
Boom.
Jalen Knoll. By the way, it's 3rd and 13, and you don't have Jalen Knoll or Jaden Higgins in the game. It's just I don't know, man. Like what's the route combo we're looking at here? He actually has Barrios if he had time or if he stepped up.
Yeah, I agree. See, I mean, so he drops back, and then he's still cluttering. He's kind of cluttering his feet instead of hitting his 3 step. Like you do your 3 step drop, and then you step right up like that. Like that is basic like stuff.
That's just really bad footwork. That's really
Like
bad. He
exactly,
doesn't
and
even really take a 3 step drop. He takes like 4 steps, 5, 6, 7. Like he's
right. I mean,
dropping his feet. One, two. I mean that's. I mean, if it's a 7 step drop, I guess, but I don't really think that was a. I don't know. It doesn't look like the footwork you'd want on a 7 step drop.
no, I agree.
All right, we'll go to. Oh, here we go. 3rd and 1. Right at like midfield area. Again, this is so frustrating to
Yeah,
me
that's
because
just embarrassing.
and it's not even the fact that I just don't understand. You put this in the game, and I don't know I don't know what Kaylee expects for teams to think you're gonna do.
Right. You have
You have
Higgins.
you
And
have literally you have a fullback, a tight end, an extra alignment in the game, and Jaden Higgins.
now at the same time, you have to be creative off of that too. And there are ways to be
Yeah,
creative off of it.
yeah,
They
100%. If they would have gone play
have-
action and thrown this, I think they would have gotten Seattle because obviously they're gonna sell run here. But
Yeah.
I don't know.
There's a lot of offensive coordinators that can be creative with that personnel. So that's a little bit of a gripe. At least Blake Fisher actually kind of did his job. And, but yeah, no push, and I don't expect them to get pushed on plays like that.
No.
We got Dare again for another 3rd down. Actually makes a decent block. Um, it looked weird as well. Like
Yeah.
the
I didn't
function.
really know what to make of this one. This was kind of like I kind of didn't mind the throw or the decision.
The footwork is bad again. You can see him kind of hitch or
I didn't
like
even see the
kind of
footwork.
buckle.
Yeah.
He kind of buckles his feet. He's
Oh
like,
yeah.
well, he's a little flat-footed too. And he's drifting back when he doesn't have to. It should just be 1 step and punch. That's a
What the
horrible
fuck?
1 step drop.
Yeah.
That's the worst. That is one of the worst 1 step drops I've seen in my life.
What is he doing?
That is
What the
that
fuck is
is
he
really
doing?
concerning. That is incredibly concerning for any of those watching. And
That's probably why the
he also
timing
has,
looks so bad. What is he doing?
he also immediately has Dalton Schultz open,
Yeah.
and he believes that his hot is the slant. No, the hot is right where the defenders blitz from, which would be the A gap.
Yeah, Dalton Schultz is not happy he didn't get the target there.
Right.
You can watch him from this angle too. He thinks 53 is going to blitz, I guess, and he doesn't, and he still throws it.
He's holding his eyes shut the whole time. I think he even pats the ball.
Yeah, I think he does.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he
he does.
pats it. Oh, it's just awful. That is, oh man, that's worse than I thought. That is,
Boy,
oh
this
man,
is a
that's
screen. Do we even have to watch this? It's just
yeah.
let's just
You
move
got
on.
it. You got it. Yeah, move on.
Let's move on. I don't care about that.
You just gotta see the footwork. I mean, that's the kind of plays you. I'm sure it's what whatever his face was talking about earlier about isolating Nico. I mean, because he's gonna win that stuff, and you can trust him in that scenario too. You can also kind of make an option out of it as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I still don't. I think his feet are a little. It's interesting there too.
Hmm.
More of a pure arm throw, but which is fine in this area of the field. But keep an eye on it. Here you do actually have the lineup we were wanting, though Dare is in, but
Yeah.
um,
Yeah, I where to go with this. I mean, this is 3rd and 15, so
wait, hold on. I see Noel. Yeah, yeah, Higgins open.
yeah, Higgins, yeah, he could have ripped this to Higgins.
Let's see how much time he has to throw. Step up, and you still have Higgins. He doesn't see him. Never looked. So it's just like there, he should be able to read the coverage, and he should know that he can look at Schultz and pull the linebacker down, which he does, and they still throws it. He has him
Yeah.
pulled. There's no way that linebacker can get to Higgins. He can't turn like that. And no, he doesn't even know where
Yeah.
Higgins is.
Or, I mean, in the situation, Higgins can just sit too. You could throw it to where he is in this
Right.
spot,
Absolutely.
put him in between the corner. Like, if you throw it
Yeah. I
right
mean,
now,
yeah.
he could just sit
Yeah.
right here
I think
and
he
not making this
almost
play.
does. Yeah. He thought about it, but it's just he's there, and that's a concerning decision. And the fact that Dara is in again is hilarious. It just makes no sense. It's just crazy. This time no one's open. I can promise you no one's open here.
Yeah.
Um, it's Nico at the top, literally being bracketed. I mean, that's not.
What are they doing up here?
Oh, I mean, I don't know. I mean, obviously, I'm gonna assume Noel was told to do that, but I don't like the way it was designed. I wish you would kind of bend in and then bend out first.
But there's just no room to throw that. Like Hutchinson's going out too.
Oh, that's just like a classic
Clear out,
little
I guess.
classic clear out.
Yeah.
Call it Ohio, where you run the go and then you run the out. Just kind
Yeah.
of
I just think it's weird that he angles this towards the sideline at the end. He like I guess he just knows the ball's thrown. I don't know. Because he's like boom, he takes a step out. I don't know why he does that, but
yeah, questionable play call for sure. But spacing wise, at least. And then let's just look at the front offense line. I mean, this is the least surprising thing that ever happened. No push. But yeah, and Lakin being there too. Like you're not going to get pushed. Like those legs are not driving.
no.
They're driving, and they don't. Well, he actually gets stood up, and so he was the issue there.
Yeah. Shocker.
Yeah, I mean exactly. It's disappointing. They're creating troubles with the fronts, but they're still not anticipating what might happen. They're not. That's actually I gotta look at the offensive line view. That is a tough one. Oh, I see the double team. Yeah, they're not really anticipating in terms of the calls. Like you kind of be like you want to be like Ed Ingram, 99. You got 42 maybe,
Yeah, Ed ends up blocking
and
nobody.
then you want the most outside guy to be left free, and obviously and so they're breaking the rules of football essentially here by letting the inside guy be free. And
Hmm.
so that is a coaching point for sure. Like I understand there's a hat on a hat, but like you want the outside guy to be
Yeah,
left up.
yeah.
And then I don't hate the throw. I think Noel maybe could have ran a little bit more.
Hmm.
Now obviously this is third and long, so you're obviously that's a good throw. I like his footwork there. Didn't really drift out too much. He was tracking it, not running full speed. And we know Noel's faster than that, so
Yeah, yeah.
don't hate the play call with Noel on the field. And then that's definitely an offensive line issue.
That's
Yeah,
Andrews.
it looks like we'll see if he was slanting or anything like that. I'm not sure if it was a true pass set or not. Obviously, they're giving you a funky look at the beginning, and
Oh
yeah,
yeah, he got.
Andrew's kind of helping where he doesn't need to help, and then he doesn't. He's not. You have to have if you want to be an elite center, you have to have the peripheral vision, and that is a tough thing to ask for. But that is a
Yeah.
thing you get from playing more football, which we just talked about. Jake Andrews technically hasn't really, or at least started and gotten experience that way.
Hmm.
We might have Noel here actually. The route isn't going to the sticks. Okay, there we go. Yeah, so that's a timing throw to Noel, but CJ's just pretty much predetermining that he's throwing the fade to Hutchinson, trusting Hutchinson on third down on a fade. That's a problem. That's a problem in its own self.
Oh, Andrews' helmet came off. That was quick.
Oh
Isn't that a
wow.
penalty?
Oh yeah, it's legal hands to the face.
Yeah.
Yeah, they missed that. They missed that one.
How did they miss that?
Did they think it was like Fugazi that his helmet came off, or I mean, what did they
Yeah,
think?
that's
I don't
crazy.
understand. And then this is a weird decision. This is a very weird decision. I hated that play call when I saw it. I was like, that is disgusting. But that goes to show that they don't believe they can run the ball up the middle.
No.
You can actually sneak that, honestly.
Yeah,
Probably could
I know.
sneak. I don't know why teams just don't run quarterback sneak 3 times in a row. They don't, but they don't believe they can do it. And you also have
Motherfucker should have
Schultz.
gone to Schultz, by the way.
Oh, yeah, I
Yes.
was just saying, you also have Schultz. But he's already throwing it. And he sees the guy coming downhill too, and he doesn't think that you're not processing the full play then. Um, yeah, I mean the Seahawks defense just kind of prepared there in terms of coverage, like they shut down the
Yeah.
route. Yeah,
Yeah, it's a good job. I mean,
the offense
step up in
line
the
did
pocket.
great. The offense
So
line did amazing against that
that's a
stuff.
good flop by whoever that D tackle was. Actually, I give him some credit. That's pretty good. I liked that.
Yeah,
Yeah, third down. Oh yeah, the one to Woody. The touchdown.
yeah, great little scramble drill. So there's a highlight for you.
Yep, there we go. A little something, I guess.
Yeah,
Ah, well, that was third down offense. Real fun team we get to cover, man. Very fun, very fun. Lots of excitement. Okay,
uh,
yeah. All right, well, I think that goes. I think that'll probably wrap it up. Kind of got to talk about it for a
fun
little
to
bit, get to
watch.
watch some tape. Yeah, not a fun watch for sure. Obviously, hopefully, play a little better against the Niners. Maybe get something fun to watch. We appreciate y'all for tuning in, and I will see y'all next time.